Think you know Bluey inside and out? Well, think again. Even the most dedicated fans might have missed some of the clever background details tucked away in the show. Today, we're revealing 7 hidden details from the world of Bluey that you probably never noticed. From sneaky references to subtle design changes, these details add so much depth to the show. And once you spot them, you'll never watch Bluey the same way again. Ready to dive in? Let's uncover some of the most mind-blowing details and behind-the-scenes secrets you won't believe we're hiding in plain sight. Segment 1. In the second-to-last episode of Season 3, we get a deeper look into a hidden layer of Bluey, the relationship between Stripe and his partner, Trixie. This storyline has been quietly building throughout the series, but most viewers might not have noticed it until now. What's fascinating is that the signs of their struggles have been right in front of us since earlier episodes, starting with Facey Talk. In this episode, there's a chaotic but telling moment when Muffin bursts into the bathroom while her mom is inside. Shortly after, Stripe finally manages to catch Muffin, his mischievous little pup, fulfilling what seems to be his primary mission in the scene. But if you pay attention, there's something much bigger happening in the background. You can hear Stripe and Trixie locked in a heated argument.
What's going on?
I'm handling it.
It doesn't look like you're handling it.
Guys? Time out.
We don't do timeout anymore.
What? Since when?
I read a blog.
You didn't tell me.
Because you're never here.
Hey, guys.
Just let me handle it, Stripe.
No, Trix, let me handle it.
This moment isn't just a funny family squabble. It's a window into their relationship dynamic. What makes this even more interesting is how their arguments seem to be a normal occurrence in their household. Socks, their younger daughter, unknowingly mirrors this tension in her playtime. She grabs the figurines from a wedding cake and stages a pretend argument, proving that even at her young age, she's picked up on what's happening around her. It's a subtle yet powerful detail that shows how much kids absorb, even when adults think they're not paying attention. Despite the tension, the series offers a hopeful and heartfelt resolution. By the end of Facey Talk, Stripe and Trixie share a tender embrace, suggesting that their love is strong enough to weather these moments. This theme carries over to the later episode, The Sign, where we see the couple happily dancing together after another disagreement. These glimpses of reconciliation make you root for them even more. It leaves you wondering, what's next for Stripe and Trixie? Could they benefit from couples counseling to strengthen their bond further? Will their love story evolve in future episodes? Whatever the answer, their struggles and growth make them one of the most relatable families in Bluey. It's a reminder that even in a seemingly perfect world, relationships take work, and love always has room to grow. Segment 2. Let's talk about Socks, one of the most unique characters in Bluey. Her subtle transformation over the series is one of those background stories that feels so rewarding once you notice it. At the start, Socks is quite different from the other pups. She behaves more like a real dog, walking on all fours and occasionally biting people, especially poor Bandit. It's adorable, but also unusual in the Bluey universe, where most of the characters act like humans. But as the series goes on, we start to see a big change in her. In the short episode, Honk, for example, Socks begins showing signs of growth. She starts speaking and acting more like the other kids, leaving her wild pup behavior behind. It's as if she's finding her place in the family and adapting to the world around her. By the time we get to the sign, Socks has come a long way. She's not just another playful pup anymore. She's matured so much that she's trusted to be a flower girl at a wedding. This moment is a sweet milestone in her journey, showing just how far she's come from the little one who used to bite and crawl. What's so great about Sock's story is how natural it feels. Her evolution isn't rushed. It unfolds quietly in the background, letting us watch her grow up little by little. It's such a relatable touch for anyone who's seen a young child or pet gradually outgrow their early quirks and step into new stages of life. Sock's journey is one of the many reasons I love Bluey. It's not just about big adventures or funny moments. It's also about these small, meaningful changes that remind us how growth happens over time. If you've been rooting for Socks like I have, it's so heartwarming to see her shine as the little star she's becoming. Segment 3. Then there's Bluey's aunt, Brandy. While she's officially introduced in Onesies, there are subtle clues about her existence scattered throughout the series. If you look closely at the photos around the Healer house, you'll notice pictures of Chili and her sister, Brandy, as pups. These images show how close they were growing up, despite having very different personalities. Chili loved adventure and the outdoors, while Brandy seemed to prefer quieter, safer activities. You can even see this contrast in the carved names on a tree near Grandpa's house. Chili's name is there, but Brandy's isn't. We also learn that both sisters faced the heartbreaking loss of their mother, an event that deeply affected Brandy. It's hinted that this may have played a role in her struggles to have a baby. But in a touching turn of events, Brandy is revealed to be pregnant by the time of Radley and Frisky's wedding. This moment brought joy not only to the Healer family, but also to fans of the show, who were thrilled to see her overcome her challenges and bring a new cousin into Bluey and Bingo's lives. Brandy's story is a beautiful example of how Bluey weaves deeper, emotional narratives into the show's lighthearted tone, making every detail feel meaningful. Segment 4. Let's move to the next detail you might have missed out. Another memorable moment tied to weddings was the unexpected return of Grandpa Bob. After his brief appearance in Grandad, he seemed to vanish from the series, leaving fans wondering what happened to him. Many had even given up hope of seeing him again. But in the sign, we finally learned that Grandpa Bob had been on a long journey to India, a trip meant for self-discovery. It's a fascinating detail that opens the door to so many questions. What did he experience during his time away? What lessons or stories does he have to share? While his return was brief, it was enough to spark curiosity and hope that we might see more of him in future episodes. Grandpa Bob's reappearance is a great example of how Bluey weaves mystery and depth into its characters, even those who aren't often in the spotlight. It keeps fans engaged, always looking for those small but meaningful details that make the series so special. Segment 5. Maynard is another fascinating character in Bluey with a subtle but intriguing backstory. He's first introduced in Grandad as one of Grandpa Mort's close friends, fishing on the dock by the lake. But he later makes an unexpected appearance at Radley and Frisky's wedding, suggesting he has deeper ties to the Healer family. A small but telling detail hints that Maynard might own or work at a convenience store near Bluey's school. In one episode, he maps out routes to the school for Jack's dad, showing he knows the area like the back of his hand. This connection could explain why Chili and Bandit chose that school. It feels like a piece of their community. Maynard's story, though not a central focus, adds richness to the world of Bluey. It's these small, interconnected details that make the show feel so alive and give every character, no matter how minor, a meaningful place in the narrative. Segment 6. Bingo and Lyla's friendship is one of the most heartwarming parts of Bluey. You really see how much they care about each other in the episode Pass the Parcel. When Bingo gets upset because Lucky's dad changed the rules of the game, she runs straight to Chili, crying. It's such a real moment. She's frustrated and just doesn't know how to handle it. But what really pulls at your heartstrings is how Lyla reacts. She's so in tune with Bingo's feelings that she starts crying too. Lyla doesn't even have to say anything. You can just feel how much she cares. It's like she's sharing Bingo's pain, even though it's not her own. Moments like this show what true friendship looks like. It's not just about having fun together. It's about being there for each other, even when things aren't going great. That's what makes Bluey so special. These little details, like Bingo and Lyla's bond, remind us why the show feels so real and relatable. It's hard not to fall in love with these characters when they're so genuine. Segment 7. Let's take a moment to appreciate Pretzel, the introverted little chihuahua who stands out in the Bluey universe for his quiet and independent nature. First introduced in Calypso, Pretzel immediately sets himself apart from the other kids. While the rest of the group engages in imaginative play together, Pretzel often chooses to do his own thing, creating his own little world of fun. This pattern continues throughout the series, solidifying his solitary personality. In the cricket, while most of the kids are absorbed in the game, Pretzel opts to stay on the sidelines, enjoying his own quiet time. Similarly, in Curry Quest, he's seen savoring an ice cream alone amidst the hustle and bustle of the fair, completely content with his own company. What's so refreshing about Pretzel is how the show portrays his introversion as perfectly normal. He gets along with the other kids, but simply prefers his own space, and there's no judgment or need for him to change. Pretzel's character is a gentle reminder that everyone has their own way of enjoying life, whether it's in the middle of a group or quietly on their own. It's one of the many ways Bluey celebrates diversity, not just in families but in personalities too. These little background details are what make Bluey so special. There's so much more going on behind the scenes that you might not even realize until you watch closely. If you enjoy picking up on these details, be sure to keep an eye out for the next episodes.